Is it time to create something different with your life and your body? Right Body for You will inspire you and invite you to a different way of creating the body and the life you truly desire. Ready? Let's go. Here's your host, Donnielle.
And welcome, everybody, to Right Body for You. I am your host, Donnielle. Thank you so much for joining me today, in the past, in the present, or in the future. Whenever that is, wherever that may be, I'm so grateful that you are taking the time to join me and everybody else who's listening to this and standing up and demanding and choosing and creating and being and. So I am so grateful for all of you. So part of the fun about the Right Body for You radio show is we get to explore the correlation between body and your life and your body. We do this so many different ways. And, please do check out the archives sometimes and listen to some of the past shows. We've had some really interesting topics, things that start one way and end up another. And for me, it's so fun to each week explore with you the continuing unraveling of the mysteries of bodies and our lives and the energy and the things that shift and change it and the things that shift and create it, which is kind of where we're going with today's tongue twister of a radio show title. It's I said what I said, but I don't know what I said when I said what I said. Say what? And how often do we do this? I said what I said, but I don't know what I said when I said what I said. But I said it. And I actually had to stop because I had a longer version of the title, and even I went, oh, come on, enough. But I said what I said when I don't know what I said, but I said what I said. But I said it when I said it. What did I say? Say what? And, so today we're actually talking about all those places and spaces like, we ask our body one thing and we get another. We ask for, we ask for a new car and we get a car wreck and things like that. And so it's like, what really is going on when we say one thing and get another, okay? Or all those places where we are actually silencing some of the awarenesses that we have with the I said what when I said what when I said that. Said what? Okay. So one of my favorite things to do with the Right Body for You workshops, the radio shows, everything, is to help people see the other side of things. So if you check out my website, Donnielle.com, I put underneath social skills or whatever, I actually put on there helping people see the other side of things. Because, this is a whole, if we have no point of view, we have all points of view. And what I mean by this is, the Right Body for You tools are based on access consciousness. And access consciousness is a set of tools and techniques to help you change any area of your life that you desire more in or change or happy or anything in between, okay? And it really looks at the energy of all of these things. And this conversation about if you have no point of view, we have all points of view. Access consciousness has these things called 10 keys to total freedom. And in there, this is this one, have no point of view. And it's like, well, what does that mean, no point of view? Does it mean that there is no feelings, no thoughts, no ice water in the veins type of, I have no point of view, then you're completely ambivalent. No, you can still have preference. You can still have I love chocolate cake, but, not really too fond of vanilla cake or, whatever it is. You can still have preference. It's just that when the point of view is limiting what you can actually become aware of, okay? So the best way I can explain, if you have no point of view, you can have all points of view, is, okay, say you're at the base of the tallest mountain in the world, okay? You're at the base of the tallest mountain in the world. and you walk right up to the cliff face, and you stand with your nose to the cliff, right? So you're at the base of the mountain, tallest mountain in the world, and you put your nose to the base, the rock face. What do you see? You see only what's right in front of your face, right? You don't actually see what's full right in front of your face. All you're seeing is the limited amount of eyesight your eyes have. Because you can't even see, like, what your mouth is seeing if, your mouth had eyeballs. Right? This is not a horror movie, it's an analogy. So, you can't even see, like, what your mouth is leveled at because you're not, you have a limited scope of vision, right? Well, this is what it's like when you take one point of view, okay? When you have one point of view, you just see that limited scope of awareness, the limited scope of your life, the limited scope of possibility, life, choices, insanities, or anything, okay? So that's one point of view. Having no point of view is, instead of being at the bottom of that tallest mountain in the world, nose up to the rock face, you're actually on the tip top of that largest mountain in the world, and you can see 360. You can see all around. You can see everything. And so that means, if, like, somebody starts dropping diamonds somewhere, yes, I like diamonds. If somebody starts dropping diamonds somewhere, you can actually see it, right? If you're at the top. When you're at the bottom, you wouldn't have seen it because it was behind you or on the other side of the mountain or whatever. So when you're on the top, you can see that, or see that the monkeys having a dance on the other side, or, this is just your field of vision, your scope of it is wide. You can see anything. And this is what we're talking about with awareness, too. When you have one point of view, you're at the bottom of that mountain with your nose up to the rock face, and you can only see what's literally right in front of you. Or you can become aware of literally the only thing that's right in front of you, because anything that doesn't match that doesn't even exist in your universe, okay? Monkeys dancing, diamonds dropping, and you can't see anything or be aware of it or perceive it because it's not right in front of you. It's unreal. It doesn't exist. On top of that mountain, with 360 field of view, vision, you can perceive and receive everything. You become aware of everything. So the monkeys start playing with the diamonds, you see that. Or, somebody starts a fire over there, you can see that. The smallest amount of change in the energetic field, and you begin to see this all. Okay? So this is what I'm talking about with this whole, if you have no point of view, you see all points of view. And I love talking about this. Simply, yes, worms coming out of a hole, somebody said. Exactly, okay? You get to see and perceive everything. Oh, and by the way, the random comments I do when I say, oh, somebody said this, is not voices in my head. It is actually the chat room that if you've never joined us, please do come in and join us sometime for a live show. You can make comments, ask questions, have fun, talk to each other. So please do check it out, inspiredchoicesnetwork.com. Go to chat room and do that. Or go into the chat room, put in a name, and you join. Okay. So if we have the one point of view, basically you're cutting off your awareness. Awareness as in when the energy shifts and change, you're able to change things, manipulate things, maneuver things, see which direction to go. And so no point of view is you get to have all this. I know it sounds backwards. It's like, well, if I have no point of view, I miss everything. No, if you have no point of view, you're not limiting what you're willing to receive, and you can perceive and receive everything then. Okay. So why do I talk about this and something like this? Well, oftentimes we go into things and we don't actually listen to what we say. We don't listen to how contradictory we actually talk sometimes because we have a limited point of view that we're functioning from. And so one of the fun things to do is to actually help shift and change that for people. Okay. And what I mean by that is for an example, one of the things I hear most often in the RBFY workshops that I do is a variation of a sentence like this. I don't communicate with my body, or my body doesn't communicate with me. I don't know what my body is saying. And I'm here to not override my body anymore. Okay? So I find it interesting, the combination of I'm coming to the class because I want to stop overriding my body and I want to be able to hear what my body has to say. So I'm like, okay, so do you guys get the contradictories in that statement? Because you're saying, I want to not override my body anymore and I want to hear what my body has to say. So we have no point of view about this and really look at it and watch and look at the energy underneath it and what you're actually saying. You could only override something if you heard it in the first place to choose against it. Okay? So in the sentence of, I want to stop overriding my body, I want to hear what it has to say, you are hearing what your body has to say and you're choosing to go in the opposite direction. Okay? But you see how quite often we don't actually go from A to B. And now I know a lot of you are going, oh, yes, of course. Yes. Yeah. I see what you're saying, because that's what happens every time I point that out to somebody. They go, oh, my gosh. Well, duh. I'm like, well, that's why I'm here, to help point these things out. But we do this so often in our life. We do this so often where we do that. We make these contradictory statements because we're only looking from one point of view. And because in the sentence, like, I want to hear more of what my body has to say and I want to stop overriding it, when we say, I want to hear what my body has to say, I want to stop overriding it, we can't see that we are hearing our body to override it, because we are functioning from the point of view that you're not hearing your body, okay? So if we have this point of view, I'm not hearing my body, when we say things like, I want to stop overriding it, if we're functioning from that, we have no communication with the body, we can't even get the awareness that overriding our body by necessity means you've heard it override it, okay? So that's where it gets this tongue twister of, I said what I said, but I didn't know what I said when I said what I said, but I knew what I said when I said it. Right? Okay? So that's what I'm talking about. If you have one point of view, you limit what you become aware of, what you can actually perceive, even if you're the one saying it. Okay? So when you have no point of view, you can actually open this up to grand thing of immense possibilities. Okay? So look at that. Isn't that funny? I want to, somebody in the chat room, she hears my head again. Oh, yes, my dear. But I want to communicate with my body, and I want to stop overriding what it has to say. Right? You hear it now, and you're like, well, it's obvious. It is, because you already shift and change the energy around it. Okay? So we're going to go for a quick first little break. When we come back, we're going to go a little bit more into this. It's like when you say things the opposite of what you think you meant, when you said what you said, what you said. Okay? So this is Donnielle. You're listening to Right Body for You on Inspired Choices Network, and we'll be right back.
The life and the body you secretly hope for is possible. Somewhere you know that, right? What if creating that body and life is not about deprivation and sacrifice? Would you be willing to choose it? What if it could be as simple as changing how you look at things? Right Body for You with Donnielle is a different kind of radio show. Each week, Donnielle invites you to you. She shares simple tools that you can use immediately to create changes in your body and your life. Something different begins now. Listen for Right Body for You every Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, 1 p.m. Central, 12 p.m. Mountain, and 11 a.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
Check out the new ringtones from Access Consciousness.
What is possible? What is possible? Smoking hot. Smoking hot.
And everyone's favorite,
Take a pass. Take a pass.
download the latest and hottest accessory. Go to accessconsciousness.com/ringtones for all the details on how to download to your iPhone today.
This is Right Body for You with Donnielle. To participate in the program today, please call toll-free in the U.S. 815-880-8255 or Canada 613-800-8736. Or you can Skype us at Inspired Choices Network. If you'd like to email a question, please send it to Donnielle@accessconsciousness.com. Now, back to the program.
And welcome back to Right Body for You. I am your host, Donnielle. Thank you for joining me today for this lovely, fun-filled topic of listening to your body. What do you say when you say what you said when you said when you said it? And just let you know, this is a topic we actually explore quite a lot in the Right Body for You workshops. I get to facilitate them all over the world. As a matter of fact, next month I'll be facilitating a Right Body for You workshop in Brisbane, Australia. And it'll be my third or fourth time there, and I just love it so much. And I love facilitating these classes. You know, like I said, we do spend some time on words and languaging. Topics like this, it's like what you say versus the energy you be to what you actually receive or create, and the differences that can show up or not show up, okay? Or why we get something different than we think we're supposed to or have asked for. So when we do this, when we look at this, one of the fun things is talk a minute about affirmations, okay? Affirmations is one of those big places of you said what you said when you said you didn't say it, but when you know you said it something else, or say what, right? Affirmations are one of those classic saying the opposite of what you think you're saying when you say what you said, and you didn't say what you said, but you thought you said, but you said it anyway, right? Because, you know, why I do this, why I do this specific topic is because I want you guys to start looking at what you say versus what you get, and the energy underneath, and just really, really, hashtag popping to feel, talk about and inviting you to look at the different possibilities that you can be with your body, and the words and how you're communicating with it. And your body as well as your life, because it's not just your body, it's also your life as well, okay? So let's look at affirmations. Affirmations have an interesting shelf life, let's say. Affirmations used to be really popular, and they worked for some, they didn't work for all. And you kind of wondered, like, why did it work for some? Why did it work for not all? Well, the problem with the affirmations is the energy isn't actually matching the words that you're saying. So, what did you say? Was that what you said? Well, the words may say one thing, but the energy is saying something else. So when you said what you said, you're actually saying the opposite of what you said. Okay. So the most famous affirmation out there is, I'm healthy, I'm wealthy, I'm wise, right? I'm healthy, I'm wealthy, I'm wise. I'm healthy, I'm wise. And why do you say an affirmation like, I'm healthy, I'm wealthy, I'm wise? Is because what you believe is that you're sick, you're poor, and you're stupid, okay? Because you wouldn't need to be trying to convince yourself you're healthy, you're wealthy, and you're wise if you were actually believed and knew that you're healthy, you're wealthy, you're wise, right? So when you say things like, I'm healthy, I'm wealthy, I'm wise, You may say the words, but the energy underneath is, please, 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 please let me be healthy, wealthy, wise. Please let me be healthy, wealthy, and wise, because I'm sick, I'm poor, and I'm stupid, and I'm so afraid that I'm always going to be sick and poor and stupid, that I'm going to sit here and repeat, I'm healthy, I'm wealthy, I'm wise, I'm healthy, I'm wealthy, I'm wise, trying to change the energy, and it might change just a little bit, but I'm afraid it's never going to change, and so I'm sick, I'm poor, and stupid. I'm sick, I'm poor, and stupid, and I think I'm getting stupider, and I think I'm getting poorer, and I think I'm getting sicker. Oh my gosh, I should probably just go to bed. Oh, this is what you're saying when you say the words, I'm healthy, I'm wealthy, I'm wise, I'm healthy, I'm wealthy, I'm wise. Underneath, you're going, I'm sick, I'm poor, and stupid, 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 I'm sick, I'm poor, and stupid. And so it's like, oh my gosh, what else is actually possible there? Well, first off, acknowledge that. So I don't want you to start repeating, I'm sick, I'm poor, and stupid, I'm sick, I'm poor, and stupid, everything matches. But it's like, you might try a different question. What would it take to be wealthy, wise? Because in there, when you say, what would it take to be healthy, wealthy, and wise? You're going, okay, right now I don't believe I'm healthy and wealthy and wise. I actually live, I'm sick, I'm poor, and stupid. So instead of trying to fool myself with, I'm healthy, I'm wealthy, and wise, I'm healthy, I'm wealthy, and wise, I'm healthy, and wealthy, and wise, because you're like trying to fool yourself into it. But when you ask a question about it, what you're saying is actually matching with, right now I think I'm sick, I'm poor, and stupid, and then I'm making a demand in my universe that that's going to change, and what would it take? And then you're able actually to, open yourself up to that point, to the universe to give you information. Because remember how we started talking about if you have one point of view, if you have one point of view, you limit what you can become aware of. So you want to have no points of view. Okay, so if this affirmation thing, when you say I'm healthy, I'm wealthy, I'm wise, you're convincing yourself of I'm sick, I'm poor, and stupid, then that becomes your point of view, and you can't actually see a way out of it. I'm poor, I'm sick, I'm stupid, I'm poor, I'm sick, I'm stupid, I'm trying to convince myself, but I'm sick, I'm poor, and stupid. You start functioning even more from this point of view of I'm sick, I'm poor, I'm stupid. If you ask a question, what would it take to be healthy, wealthy, and wise, for example, you acknowledge what is or what you think you're functioning from at the time, so you look at the energy of it, and then you go, okay, universe, okay, my knowing, what would it take to change this? I'm gonna make the demand. And then the energy is actually all works. It's all cohesive. It all is flowing in the right direction. Because then you're going, okay, yeah, I'm going to try to get from point A to point B and not fool myself, but actually be willing to receive the information and look at things, okay? So you see where I'm going with this? So when you say something like, I'm healthy and wealthy and wise, I'm healthy and wealthy and wise, you say that verbally. Energetically, you say, I'm sick, I'm poor, I'm stupid. And you stick yourself at this one point of view and fear that nothing can change. Okay? So the question actually helps you shift and change that energy and opening it up to possibilities instead of trying to fool yourself. Okay? You want to talk manipulation? I'm always happy to do that, and that's another topic. But we also, fooling yourself is like you're going to pull a trick. But you know what the trick is. And so it's not always going to create what you're asking for, which is why affirmations work for a small populace. Because for it to work, there actually needs to be a moment where you know it can change. And if you're functioning from a point of view that it can't change, well, you know what? It won't. Okay? So this is kind of what we're talking about with this. Okay? So you, what I don't know what I said when I said I said what I said, but I don't know what I said when I said what I said. Say, what? So, that's what I'm talking about. You want to make sure the energy is matching actually what you say. All right? And one of the other things that I like to work with this is the times people believe they're powerless and create things that are actually proving how powerful they are, but they call it powerless. Okay? Really interesting. So, like, I did a class recently, and this woman I was working with, she's like, I did this one time, it's like, what would it take to lose 10 pounds or whatever? And then she wakes up one morning and she's lost 10 pounds. And she goes, the scale looked at it and it said less. The mirror said it said less. And I was like, I can't actually do that. That's not right. That's not possible. Even though the mirror says it and the scale says it, that's not right. So, she's like, oh, that doesn't actually happen. And she's like, you know what? So then I tried again. I stepped on the scale. I looked in the mirror. She goes, and the 10 pounds are back. And she's like, see, I can't do it. See how powerless I am. And I'm like, are you kidding me? That actually proves how powerful you are and how much in communion with your body you actually are. So that's another funny thing. People are like, see, it's just proof I'm not in communion with my body. I'm like, actually, it's very much proof you're in communion with your body. Because if your body can, lose 10 pounds when you ask it, and then within a second go, oh, put it back because I doubt myself. Put it back because I don't think I'm that powerful. Put it back, put it back, put it back. And your body goes, okay, puts it back. It's not that you didn't create something. It's that you created multiple things. Okay? But we do this. We start to invalidate things. And it always makes you laugh. People do this so often. They come into me for sessions or during a class, and they use these things as a way to discredit themselves. They use these things for judging themselves. They use these things for those invalidations when actually, if you look at it, if you're willing to see the other side of things, you're validating. You are proving, and you are creating a massive magnitude. If you're willing to change the point of view you look from, or where you're coming from, and see all points of view, okay? And I think we're going to go to our next little commercial break. And when we come back, I want to talk to you about an interesting conversation I had with an Uber driver recently. If you haven't ever talked to Uber drivers, I highly suggest you do, because you get into the most interesting conversations. And this one, I'm like, it's like you knew I was going to do the show soon. It was so funny. Okay. Somebody in the chat room said Donnielle gets around sometimes. All right, so we are going to take a quick little break. And when we come back, I'll tell you the tale of the Uber driver. All right, so this is Donnielle. This is Right Body for You. We're on Inspired Choices Network, and we'll be right back.
The life and the body you secretly hope for is possible. Somewhere you know that, right? What if creating that body and life is not about deprivation and sacrifice? Would you be willing to choose it? What if it could be as simple as changing how you look at things? Right Body for You with Donnielle is a different kind of radio show. Each week, Donnielle invites you to you. She shares simple tools that you can use immediately to create changes in your body and your life. Something different begins now. Listen for Right Body for You every Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, 1 p.m. Central, 12 p.m. Mountain, and 11 a.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
What if you really do change molecules by your interaction with them? What if the change you've been looking for is right before your eyes? What if the uncomfortableness that comes with difference could be fun? What if the closed-minded people of the world no longer determined our world? What if gratitude trumps judgment every time? What if your kindness healed the world? What if the earth is asking for your help? And what if you had the resources to give it? This is your invitation to step into something that Einstein, Marie Curie, Picasso, Da Vinci, Shakespeare, Aristotle all knew to be true. Hi, my name is Dane here. 13 years ago, I started to truly ask questions. Actually, I started to be the question, and everything changed for me. What if there are no dumb questions, or any question too large? What if you being you are the gift and the change this world requires? Is now the time? For more questions to create a change in your world, sign up for a free video series at beingyouclass.com. My gift to you, beingyouclass.com.
This is Right Body for You with Donnielle. To participate in the program today, please call toll-free in the U.S. 815-880-8255 or Canada 613-800-8736. Or you can Skype us at Inspired Choices Network. If you'd like to email a question, please send it to Donnielle@accessconsciousness.com. Now, back to the program.
And welcome back to Right Body for You. I am your host, Donnielle. Thank you for joining me on this radio show now in the past, in the present, or in the future. And I do also invite you to, if you're enjoying this, to join me in a class sometime. We have so much fun. You know, I get to facilitate these Right Body for You workshops all over the world. And I have so much fun doing it. Yes, inviting people to see in the other side of things, as well as some really in-depth tools about communicating with your body, food in your body, weight in your body, money in your body, pain, healing. Yes, sex usually comes up because guess it's one of your body's favorite things to do. That's right, okay? Or if you don't like to do it, what judgments do you have? Or if you do like to do it, what judgments do you have? So we go all over the board on that one. Earth. And we walk you through activities to help you about food and connecting to your body. And it's a lot of fun. And every single class is so different, okay? You should see what's come up in the chat room when I talk about sex. Apparently there might be some offers in there. You never know what you're missing if you're not in the chat room during a live show. Anyways, but we do talk a lot about this, and what's fun is you get to ask some questions. You get to do some facilitation, receive facilitation, and really start to use these tools in a fun, exploratory way. And we usually laugh, we usually joke, we have a good time. Not that we're not taking it serious about bodies and the topics and what you're there to get, but you can have humor and change things. Yes, tears show up once in a while too, and also how much fun can you have with the change that you're asking for, okay? How much fun can you have with the change that you're asking for? You know, and when I recently did a class in Edmonton, Canada, there was a woman there who had never done a class with me, had never done a radio show or listened to a radio show. She hadn't done any Access Consciousness classes. She had never really heard of Right Body for You until she saw some random posts. So she was like totally new. So, you know, I started talking about Right Body for You and Access Consciousness, and she's like, I don't even know what this stuff is. And so what was fun is she asked for a private session, so I did a session with her later after class. You know, a couple of days later after class, and she's like, you know, if it wasn't for the humor, I would have left. She goes, or I would have stayed for the class and then just never looked back. But she's like, there was the humor and encouraging for me to be me, and that's what made her stay. So, like I said, if nothing else, you want to have a good, fun weekend, please do check it out. And if you want to have a fun 5 days, check out the Right Body for You Tools in Action. I'm doing for the first time ever in Somebody in the chat room says, "You for heels, pass it on." Amen. So I'm doing this class called Right Body for You, the Tools in Action. Because one of the things I hear in the Right Body for You classes all the time is, can I put you in my pocket, take you with me? What would it take to have you on speed dial, or a number of things like this? And so we thought, hey, wouldn't it be fun to do a out-about real, quote-unquote, real life, well, at least outside of a hotel venue, right, experience with all of these tools. And so what we're doing is the prereq is doing a Right Body for You 2.5-day workshop. And then from there, what we're doing is I'm bringing the manual to life, okay? I'm bringing the manual to life of to help you get a breadth and a depth to the tool. And I get to be there. This is my answer to how to put me in your pocket, is to create this so that, you go to a restaurant. I'll be there to help you pod pocket and see what your body has to say. And we're going to do the money, the earth, everything. We have tours planned, a bunch of things. So do check it out, Donnielle.com, DONNIELLE. Sorry, somebody in the chat room I think has a typo, which is pretty funny. So check it out, Donnielle.com. It's called Right Body for You, the Tools in Action, New Orleans, or NOLA for NOLA, which stands for New Orleans, Louisiana. Okay, so do check it out. We're going to hang out in the French Quarter. All right. So that's to be really interesting Uber driver conversation I had, okay? And so during this drive, he's like, hey, what do you do? Which is always kind of interesting, trying to tell people, hey, what do you do? And, really quick, because I do some strange stuff. Trying to, are you trying to, how do you explain this? And so I usually ask a question like, what can they hear? And I go from there. And so what was really neat is he started doing this. He's like, well, I'm 23. I started being an Uber driver because I wanted to create something different. He's like, I've lived in an apartment my whole life, and I look at these people with these houses, and I'm like, oh, I want a house. I want that big yard and that kind of stuff. I'm like, okay, that's pretty cool. And he's like, and people function from such a limited scope of reality. And I'm like, what do you mean by that? Because it's like a straight. I'm like, what do you mean? And he's like, well, we always seem to take one side or the other. And, he's like, it's like the world is a debate. We're always taking one side or the other. And he said, so every time somebody's going, oh, this is the way it should be, then he goes, I actually like to research the other side. I like to research the other side of something I don't know about. Say, like, I only know what was his example? It was something about politics. It was the politics of, it's like, if I only know where the Republican stands, he's like, and because, I was born Republican, I was raised Republican, so of course I'm going to vote Republican. He goes, then you can't actually see if there's any value to anything that maybe a Democrat says. He said, or vice versa. He's like, so I actually live my life. It's like, okay, so if I'm raised Republican, I will, yes, know what the Republican says, but I'm also going to research and see what the Democrats say. He goes, because then I actually can see everything for what it is and see the value where it is and the BS where it is. And I thought that was pretty cool. I'm like, that is so freaking cool that you're 23 years old and you're going, I want to see the other side of things. He goes, because if you just see one side, he goes, you cut things. He goes, you can't even see what else is going on. And he goes, and then you kind of look stupid. I'm like, oh my gosh. I'm like, were you just at the class I gave? Or did you give a class of your own? Because that's kind of a lot of the stuff that we're talking about. And, so in the chat room said, educated, aware, young Uber driver changing the world. Absolutely. And then, I'm like, oh, man. I'm like, then you are going to do it. He's like, well, I hope so. And he's like, I said, oh, trust me, you already have the demand in your universe. But you guys caught the energy of him. It's like, how amazing is that he is able to look at that at 23 years old and go, hey, I want to see everything. I want to know all sides. I don't want to limit myself. And what was really cool about this is he's like, he goes, but I learned differently. He said, he goes, I'll admit it, I barely graduated high school. He goes, it was hard. He goes, I don't learn that way. I'm like, no, you don't learn that way. But trust me, that learning that way, or learning, schools are dealt to teach you and make you average, the same as everybody else. So they design curriculum so that they can encompass the greater number of people. I said, so if you fall on two different sides of that, that's when you start having a harder time learning, but it doesn't mean it's a sign of intelligence. Quite the opposite. And this is another thing that, like, if you're willing to see the other thing, because, like, he goes, well, whenever I put on a job application or something that I barely graduated high school, they automatically turn me down. I'm like, no, I get that. And you being willing to see the other sides of things, it said, you will create jobs for yourself. Because trust me, the people in the world who created the biggest change in the world are those who can look at something and see what else is going on. So, when we talk about this whole, you're saying the opposite thing with your body, your life, and I like to say, we're multifaceted, like a well-cut gemstone. But we're multifaceted. And so it's not really about one thing or two things. It's like, oh, I'm only doing that with my body. No, you're actually doing it all over the place. And so when you do things like, I want to create a different life, I want to create a ton of money or anything like that, if you're not willing to see what else, you wind up doing the same thing as everybody else. And then you're just scrambling to either stay ahead of them or stay ahead of half of them, instead of actually looking out and going, hey, what else is possible here? What else can be required? How can I use this to my advantage? What can I create with this pile of poo? What can I create? So it's like, did you guys know that there was actually more fortunes made during the Great Depression than any other time in history? Okay? And no, I know some of you went to, it was only the bad people taking advantage. No, not really. It was people who looked at the Great Depression and went, oh, I can do something with this. The majority of the world went, oh my gosh, this is horrible, we have to do something. Okay, so yes, this might have been horrible, but you keep saying, oh my gosh, this is horrible, oh, we should do something. Who's going to do something? Well, a lot of people did do things, and like I said, fortunes were made. They had some savings or whatever, and so they bought property, and then when things started reversing, they sold the property, and they made a lot of money from that. Okay, now is that taking advantage of somebody? Not really, because if you gave them money, it's like, well, I have to sell the property. Okay, cool. You gave them money, which is what they're asking for. So, that's, the Great Depression. But it's also somebody who, Ford, the gentleman Ford, was able to look at cars and go, hey, well, what if we added this? What if we did this differently? And he changed the industry. So it's like, it's not about recreating what everybody else does. It's actually about looking at what you can do. And this having no point of view and willing to see the other side of things comes in so vitally for that. Because when you do that, then you create a life and living in a body that is something extraordinary, that's something that's never been seen before on this planet. And guess what? It's your life. And how does it get any better than that? Okay, we're going to take our last little break. And when we come back, I'm going to go through a few quick words that you might want to be very aware of that has a different energy when you're in this creation mode, that has a different energy than what is actually Webster's Dictionary's definition for it, okay? So this is Donnielle. You're listening to Right Body for You on Inspired Choices Network, and we'll be right back.
The life and the body you secretly hope for is possible. Somewhere you know that, right? What if creating that body and life is not about deprivation and sacrifice? Would you be willing to choose it? What if it could be as simple as changing how you look at things? Right Body for You with Donnielle is a different kind of radio show. Each week, Donnielle invites you to you. She shares simple tools that you can use immediately to create changes in your body and your life. Something different begins now. Listen for Right Body for You every Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, 1 p.m. Central, 12 p.m. Mountain, and 11 a.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
What if there's nothing wrong with you? What if you're far greater than you've ever given yourself credit for? What if it's time to know the gift and the contribution you are to the world and to like yourself a lot more? Hi, my name is Dane here. 13 years ago, I started to truly ask questions. Actually, I started to be the question, and everything changed for me. Asking questions opens doors to infinite possibilities. And it's not about finding the answer. It's about being the question. Always. What I'm inviting you to step into is something that Einstein, Marie Curie, Newton, Da Vinci, Gandhi, Picasso, and Aristotle all knew to be true. What if no question is too big or too small? What if anything is possible for you? What if together we could create a kinder, gentler, happier world? Is now the time? Go to beingyouclass.com and sign up for a free video series, My Gift to You. beingyouclass.com. What if you, truly being you, are the gift and change this world requires? beingyouclass.com.
This is Right Body for You with Donnielle. To participate in the program today, please call toll-free in the U.S. 815-880-8255 or Canada 613-800-8736. Or you can Skype us at Inspired Choices Network. If you'd like to email a question, please send it to Donnielle@accessconsciousness.com. Now, back to the program.
And welcome back to Right Body for You. I'm your host, Donnielle, or as some people say, the voice in your head. All right. So today we've been talking a lot about, I just have to say my title again because I just think it's so freaking fun. I said what I said, but I didn't know what I said when I said what I said. Say what? We started exploring those places where maybe the energy doesn't match, or we're making contradictory statements like, I don't communicate with my body, but I want to stop overwriting it. You can only overwrite it if you heard it to overwrite it. So I'm inviting you to really look at all of these places and what you say and how you say it and what it is creating or not creating in your body and your life, okay? Having no point of view, you have all points of view, fun things like that. So here are a few words to help you to just be aware of them, okay? So when you're saying these things, sometimes it's why the energy is a bit different and why it may show up different than what you were expecting, okay? Because it's a different energy that you're calling up with the words. So one of them is want. One of my favorite ones to play with says want actually has 27 different definitions, and all of them but one mean to lack. So when you say things like, I want to change this, I want to lose weight, what you're actually saying is a lack of losing weight, okay? Because we do this because prior to 1945, in 1945, definitions of words in the dictionary were changed, that you can't change the energy behind it. So these are some of the reasons you want to look at the original definitions, and this is what we're going with for these, okay? But, B-U-T, one T, folks, negates everything you just said, okay? Well, for instance, like, I want to communicate. I want to stop overriding my body, but I want to communicate with it. You start to instantly negate everything you just said before. Because every time you say because, it's the reason and justification for what you just said. Okay, everything after the word because is reason and justification for what you just said. So it's like, I don't communicate with my body, because I'm 50 pounds overweight. Okay? Well, that's just the reason justification for why you think you don't communicate with your body. But you actually kind of do. Okay, then need. Need creates a lack and a limitation in the universe. It becomes the only choice and the only possibility. Okay? Secret creates a place where you're locking up your body and your life. Goal. Goal is one of those fun ones. Look it up. You'll find it amusing. And I also have a fun video about the word goal. Okay? Goal means to hinder or impede or put in jail. I'm not even kidding. Put in jail. Do you ever wonder why goals always don't feel warm and fuzzy? Sometimes they feel like a noose around. I wonder why. And trying is a defensive action. I'll try to come. How many people actually show up when you say, I'm trying to come? Not very many. You know, try to stand up. You either do or you don't. Okay? So those are just a few of the many words out there. But I invite you to really start looking at this, looking at the places and spaces where you're asking for one thing, maybe receive another. What are you saying when you say what you say? It might be different than what you meant to say or asking for, okay? So please do check it out because it is freaking amazing out there when you're aware of the energy and the words and what you're saying and how you're saying it and the energy you be. You might actually get the life in the body you're asking for or you think you're asking for or the one you truly desire. So, and so please do, if you enjoyed this, please do check out my website, Donnielle.com. And if you feel like it's time for a little one-on-one with me and you have something you'd like to discuss with me and work out, we can, see what we can change together. Also known as private session, please do let me know. This is a great way to get in touch with me about it. And don't let it, I don't know where you are in the world. Well, everywhere I'm in the world, even in the jungles of Costa Rica, I've had internet to some capacity, which means we can connect anywhere in the world. All we have to do is find a time for the two of us that it works. So please do check it out. And while you're there, you can check out some fun products I have on the page, past teleseries like Body Image, Shattering the Lie of Body Image. That was a fun 6-part series plus a 1-part call that changed a lot of things. It was kind of freaking intense. And there's also on there videos, classes of intros I've done. So those are free to watch. Just click on them, hit play, have internet. That part always helps. And they are free to watch. And past radio shows, SoundClouds, YouTube clips. I think the one with the word goal is on there as well. And if not, you can always find it on my YouTube channel. And you can also check out my Facebook page, check it out, like it. I'm adding new content regularly, and it's a great way to stay abreast of kind of some of the fun things that are going on and occurring. Okay, so do check it out, Donnielle.com, DonnielLE.com. One of the things I love about a unique name is I got my URL somewhere I was, brilliant in the creation of my life. And you know what? You are actually too brilliant in the creation of your life. We talked a lot today about the energy behind the words and looking at the contradictory statement and things like that. And this is not for you to self-flagellate, but to actually get you to acknowledge how potent and amazing you are. Because I know how potent and amazing you are. Would you be willing to see it? Okay? So, hope you had fun. I always have fun. And you know what? Make it a fun week, a happy week. Be back next week because I'll be here. Enjoy your body because it's enjoying you. And until I get to hug you or talk to you again, have fun. Thanks, everyone. Make it a good one.
Thank you for listening to Right Body for You. Donnielle will return next Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, 1 p.m. Central, 12 p.m. Mountain, and 11 a.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. We hope you and your body will join us. Until then, have fun.